Live look here over uptown on this chilly Wednesday afternoon. Seeing the winds pick up here a little bit. Not a cloud in the sky, but boy, the camera is shaking right now. Let's get over to meteorologist Andrew Brightman. And Andrew, we're only going to get colder later this week.
It's going to get cold, Brian. Again, going to be a carbon copy of what we saw earlier in the week here. Temperatures well below the freezing mark. Low to mid-20s here as we get to your Friday and Saturday morning. But unlike what we saw Monday night and Tuesday, not really expecting much in the way of any snow shower potential across the Carolinas. Right now, though, 50 degrees, stepping out the door, winds out the south-southwest at 10 miles an hour, though. Looking pretty white and wintry here up at Beech Mountain, but also the beautiful setting sun as we look up towards those Carolina mountains as we head into your Wednesday evening. We do have some wind alerts, especially across portions of the higher elevations here. We do have those high wind warnings in effect for portions of the mountains. We've got Avery, Ashe, Watauga counties that go until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Currently on radar, fairly quiet right now, not much going on here. But as we zoom out, you'll actually see a little bit farther off to our north and west. We do have a frontal boundary that's on the way here. This cold front is what is moving towards us and what's going to give us that next blast of cold air here across the Carolinas. Also seeing a lot of moisture starting to develop across portions of the deep south, though we are not expecting much, if any, wet or wintry weather as we look to wrap up the week. Late week setup here. This is what's moving in across portions of the Northeast and New England. We do have some snow showers and likely some heavy snow showers, some lake effect snow bands that's going to be developing here across portions of Michigan and the Upper Peninsula as well. So just keep that in mind. Anyone that's going to be traveling north here over the next 24 to 48 hours. But for us, the story across the Carolinas, this blast of cold Canadian land-based Arctic air that's moving in across the Carolinas. That's what's going to drive our temperatures again here, roughly 10, 15, some places even 20 degrees below average as we wrap up the weekend. When you have Canadian-based or land-based Arctic air moving in, it means business, and that's exactly what we're going to experience here as we wrap up the week. Futurecast in motion. There's the potential maybe later this evening as the outer edge of the front starts to move in. You might see a couple of sprinkles or snowflakes, depending on where you are here across the mountains. Elsewhere, though, we are expecting dry conditions. You can see more of what I'm talking about here across the higher elevations on your Thursday morning. Across the Piedmont and down the Sandhills, temperatures aren't going to feel all that much different. Notice, though, up in the mountains how cold it is. Boone and Jefferson, it will be very, very cold here, and you will feel it with the winds as well. There'll certainly be a wind chill factor. I'll talk more about that coming up later on in the hour. Now, we get up to around the 50-degree mark tomorrow. For us in Charlotte, those temperatures and that cold air really rushes in after sunset on your Thursday. Very quickly, those temperatures falling. Notice across the mountains, potentially going all the way down into the single digits here Friday morning. And elsewhere, a lot of middle 20s on the way across the Carolinas. A very cold day across the region, mid-20s up in the mountains, and barely creeping in to the lower 40s as we get into your Friday afternoon and heading into the weekend. It will be a cold one. Let's talk about winds here briefly. You'll notice up in the mountains, those winds really starting to pick up. Wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour. Could see some wind gusts during the morning hours upwards of 30 miles per hour in Charlotte, but it's really across the higher elevations we see those strongest winds, and then they start to come down as we head throughout the afternoon into the evening hours. Your pinpoint 7-day forecast, not expecting much in the way of wet weather until early next week. Monday and Tuesday, a couple of things. We warm up, but also you might need those umbrellas as well. Sunday looks like to be the most comfortable with warming temperatures as well as dry conditions. Brian?